To be a monk is to understand that evil, like dust, settles in the corners of the world. It does not announce itself with fire and fury, but creeps in through neglect, through hesitation. And just as a master sweeps away the filth with a humble broom, so too must he cleanse corruption from the soul of mankind. A warrior fights for conquest, a monk fights for balance. One sweep, one strike, one breath at a time, until all that remains is clarity. A broom in the hands of an untrained man is but a stick, but in the hands of a master it is an instrument of purity, a weapon of discipline. Evil is not always slain with steel. It is swept away little by little with patience, wisdom, and an unshaken will.
Hello my brothers and sisters in a dream. In today's video we will continue our journey into stat stacking build. As you know, Wakecrest requires some cleaning, so it is about time to use a broom. Let's talk about how we can make our swooshes a bit fancier. We got a few options here. The first one is adding a support gem Magnified Effect. This gem will increase the area of effect of our skill by 40%. Next, we can use Gem Cutter Prism to enhance quality of the main skill. A higher gem quality increases the width of the skill. If you like more action on your screen, consider using the Upheaval support gem. It adds 2 additional features, creating a more chaotic electrifying effect. But keep in mind this gem has its downside. It reduced attack speed by 20% and skill damage by 40%. So it's up to you what skill to use. I'll stick with Magnified Effect for now. My opinion is that you should pick your support gem based on your playstyle. This build is pretty strong, so you can do some crazy stuff. Now let's talk about other skills. For smashing the bosses we still use Tempest Bell, with heavy swing, concentrated effect and close combat. You can also add some additional support gem on your taste. As for Aura, we still use Herald of Thunder with the same support gems we used before. The only change to the Tempest Fury is Rage, which allow me to generate rage charges. Beside that, there is nothing else. I already talked about the Storm Wave. There are the same games except the Magnified Effect. The Hand of Cheula, our boss debuffer. So this skill allows us to put 1 mark and 1 debuff on the boss. I use the Voltaic Mark and Conductivity Curse. Also, I'm using the support gem of Heightened Curse, which increase conductivity slightly. Now let's jump to important thing, the Combat Frenzy. It allows us to generate frenzy charges when we freeze, electrocut or pin enemies. We use the electrocut here. Also we are using the support gems that allow us to generate extra charges. Whoops. You will ask me, why do we need frenzy charges? And the answer is the resonance. So we actually don't need frenzy charges, but we need power charge. Power charges will give us an option to use the charge stuff, a fancy skill which looks epic, and also it will put the exposure on the monsters, which basically reducing monsters' resistance to a certain elemental. Herald of Ice, our third aura, but to make it work we need this ring. These skills make frozen monsters explode on death, damaging everyone around. It is not a necessary aura, but it is a nice addition, and considering that the rings cost almost nothing, it would be the shame not to use it. Let's speak about other items. So I'm using the same gloves I got in the Act 2 or something like that. Same old stick, same armor, and of course same hat. The boots are the same, the belt. Only thing I change is this ring, I got it from the Alva. And a new knuckle, because I needed spirit for the auras. Now let's speak about other items that are not very obvious. So in the process of when we are going to this two notables, we are getting a few not skill, but the gem slots. And as you see, I already purchased a few gems for them. It is nothing super fancy because most likely you will change it very fast. But it is a free stats that you can get for almost nothing or very cheap. You go to the trade site, in the filter in the item category set any jewel because we don't really care. As the stat filter, you want to pick strength with the enchant tag. This currently state for the corrupted affixes. Since this is the temporary items, you don't want to get something very expensive. Any gem that has a nice strength or intelligence, depending on what you're stacking now, will do the job. Also, you can pick something with one or two nice stats, like something that will be useful for you. It can be the damage with quarter stuff, attack speed, anything, lighting penetration, lighting damage. Try to avoid critical damage or critical chance because we currently don't have critical nodes in our tree, so it won't be that useful. And now let's speak about some OP items like Hands of Wisdom and Action. It is not necessary for you to finish the Cruel, but it will make your walkthrough like a daydream. Please note that then you will need to change all the nodes on the tree from strength to intelligence. Another item that will also be very useful is the breach rings. They are not as luxury item, you can grab one for 10 or maybe 15 access, but it will nicely boost your damage and survivability. Now enough talking, let's do some action! So at first you need to generate some power charges to turn on your charge stuff. And after that you are free to use other spell. You can simply swipe everything with Storm Wave or continue with Tempest Fury. It is up to you what you like more. Here are some numbers so you can see what is the damage and compared to other. As you see, this is a simple monk without the ascendancy. I haven't maxed it just to show you that it is very playable and enjoyable with even with some simple items and without turning everything to maximum. Even without changing any items that I showed in this video, you will be able to complete the campaign and even do some low tier maps without a problem. But even with some simple adjustments you can go even further. Please let me know what you think about this build, about current metas, and Path of Exile in general. You can find the link for this build in comments. Thank you and see you in Waycrests!